Well, you can guess where we are.
Everglades National Park.
One of our great national parks.
And it's been about, I don't know, 4 or 5 years since we've been to this part of the Everglades.
Yeah, there's 2 parts. This is the eastern side. There's also a western side. And we're going to do both on this trip. And we're going to share what we find with you. So if you come to Florida, you have time to come down in.
Oh, make time.
Yeah.
Because it is an experience. And we're going to
places,
share some of that with you.
Good place to stay at Homestead, Florida City. You're not that far from Miami. So yeah, this is definitely a place to get away from the hustle and bustle of the city, enjoy a little bit. So we're going to see what we can find.
Well, we're standing at the Nike missile site.
Yeah, what a lot of people may not know that in the Everglades there was a Nike missile launch site, I guess from the early 60s for the Cuban Missile Crisis.
All the way to 1979.
Yeah, this is not, of course, used any longer, but it is still here. And when I was last here, it was closed up. You couldn't get in, but now they have opened it up.
This is
turned into a museum.
This is the maintenance building where they maintain the missiles.
Mm-hmm.
They had to do that quite a bit because they were, had to be that accurate. Also behind this building, they had a dog kennel where German Shepherds were kept.
Guard dogs.
Guarded the perimeter of this facility.
And there's a big bunkers around here, I guess, was to keep prying eyes out. So what's confusing us and what Fred and I were kind of wondering is, was this a silo, an underground silo? Because this is a swamp. I don't know, imagine how they did that. Although there's a lot of lime rock here, so we're going to go investigate and find out. Inquiring minds want to know.
Well, we're standing in front of a bunker, and there's a few of these around this old Nike base.
Yeah, we assume this is for protection. It's like a bunker they built up, so it's not really underground.
No, it was above ground, but the mounds are huge and probably quite thick. There's concrete with earth put on them.
Entrance at the top here with a ladder that goes down. You can't get into these because of asbestos and lead paint, which I guess wasn't a big deal back in the 60s.
They didn't know about it.
Yeah.
So during those times, personnel could be in here and supposedly stay safe from a direct or indirect attack. This was the thinking back then. On the other side of this, there's what they call the barn, where they actually could keep the missiles.
Yeah, we're assuming the missiles, so they weren't in silos here, and these were anti-missile missiles, I believe. So
right.
And we're down here because, of course, this is a very close proximity to Cuba, which is about approximately 90 miles from here.
There were 4 of these sites around Miami. Okay, there was this one, of course. There was one in Key Largo. There was one in Carroll City, north of Miami, and one along Chrome Avenue out west of Miami. The one along Chrome Avenue became famous during the Mariel boat lift because Immigration Service used it as a detention center, and it still serves that purpose to this day.
Can you tell us what these concrete emplacements were for? Well, I mean, what's left of them?
Okay, when they initially got here in '62, none of this existed. Okay, this was privately owned farmland in '62. The soldiers were set up in tents outside the main park entrance in the fields out there. Okay, and this facility was built, and they moved in here. What you see over here is 3 launch pads. And there was a trench that ran out there where they put all the electrical cables. Okay? When the Park Service took this facility over, they filled in the trenches with concrete for safety reasons and so they could drive vehicles in here. Okay? The way it worked, there was a track that ran the whole way out to the road. That's how the soldiers moved the missiles. They would just push them along the track to one of the 3 launch sites, and then the launcher would stand the missile up into firing position. It'd be ready to go. If there was an alert and the missiles were called upon. When it was ready to be fired, all the personnel would go around to the other side of that berm over there. There's a bunker underneath that berm. Everybody goes into the bunker, they close it up, and they stay in there until either the missile's launched or the alert's called off. Now, we suspect that the guys really didn't mind going into that bunker because it was air conditioned. So, if they're sure that in August and September, if they're spending time working in that barn, they were thrilled if there was an alert so they could go into the bunker and cool off. Anyhow, each of these barns, and there's 3 barns in this unit, each barn can support 6 missiles. 3 inside the barn and 3 out here on the 3 launch pads. So that would be 3 at this barn, 3 at each of the other 2 for a total of 16 missiles or 18 missiles. Flunk math.
I'm now at Echo Pond. It's ECO Pond. This is in Flamingo. This is the southernmost point in the eastern Everglades. It's about 38 miles from the main entrance. Definitely worth coming. Echo Pond back in here. I've been in here where you didn't even know where to point your camera. There were so many birds. Unfortunately today there's just a few. There's some little blue herons in here, and there is a reddish egret that we've been enjoying photographing. But definitely you want to come down here, and one of the things that a ranger told me years ago you want to be careful of when you walk around here, and there is a path that goes all the way around the pond, is watch out for pygmy rattlesnakes. There have been pygmy rattlesnakes here. So come on down to Echo Pond in Flamingo, and the next place we're going to go is the only place in the United States you can get crocodiles. When you go to Flamingo, one of the places you want to go to is the marina to see a rare sight, which is one of the few places you can see a North American crocodile.
Yeah, you're guaranteed if you go there to see 1, if not 2, of those exquisite creatures, usually just kind of laying around, hanging out, great for pictures and videos. So, check it out if you get the chance. If you have your own watercraft, canoe, or kayak, you're welcome to launch from there.
Exactly. Hey, we're pretty excited. We came in here, and this is the Pinelands Trail near the entrance. Look, we got a rare tree snail. These I haven't seen very. I remember why we're so excited about these, but it's not that common to see them. And there's also a place on Loop Road, on the western side, that has snails. But these guys climb up in the dry season like this. They attach themselves to the trees and they go into hibernation. People would collect them. They have different colors, different banding based upon the area they're from. The ones here have this kind of brown striping, but then they would burn out the hammocks in order to destroy the environment, so that they would have a unique collection of snails. Of course, all they have is a shell, not the
Right.
snails.
And of course now, if this tree is taken out, the snail will probably die.
Yeah, or if you take the snail
If you
off
take
the
it off.
tree, it
So
will die.
you'll see people, unfortunately, they'll say, ooh, this is cool, and they'll grab it and put it in their pocket. Well, the snail's going to die, and it's not real good for the ecosystem. So
Yeah.
I know they're beautiful and they're cool, but take photos and video of them. Do not collect them.
Another
please.
interesting fact, these are hermaphrodites, which means that they
Both
they're
male
both
and
sexes,
female.
yeah, then they can lay the eggs. So, yeah, cool. Well, now we're here. What would you call this? Kind of the middle Everglades. We
Kind of the
had
middle
the
of Everglades National Park.
yeah, the
called
eastern
Shark
side
Valley.
on our way to the west side, Shark Valley.
Yeah.
Another place you want to stop if you come down this way. Great, lots of animal life. A lot of alligators.
There's a loop road that runs throughout the park, and that gives you your bird's eye view of birds. And
You could also,
gators
there's a
and all
tram here, so you
Yep.
don't have to.
Yeah, if you don't want to walk, you can take the tram. So,
So-
it's, I like it as a walking tour because with the camera you can stop and take as long as
Yeah.
you want. So at least we're hoping for some great pictures.
Yeah, I never
today.
got much. I've taken the tram 2 or 3 times.
Right.
And-
So
So anyway, yeah, this is another spot, and we're on our way toward the western side, which we'll be at this afternoon.
all right.
Okay, these are solution holes. Florida's basically lime rock. It's like a sponge. And some of the lime dissolves away. There's actually
Yeah, there's water down
water
in here.
down in there.
Remember, throughout this area, water runs underground. It's calcareous rock, so every so often the water will dissolve, plus rain action and other things will naturally dissolve little holes.
And a deep one will form what they call a sink, and these are solution holes. So
Once you get a sink or even a large solution hole,
gotta be careful.
What
These
will
are
happen
thin
is-
enough you can fall into them.
yeah, plant life will grow around them. And yes, stepping too close to some of these can be dangerous, especially if you can tell that the rock is a little brittle, because this is calcareous rock, so it's not solid. It's very porous.
Okay, well currently we're here in Loop Road, and if you come up from Shark Valley, on the right there is a interesting trail. There's a nature trail here. We call it the Snail Trail because we also have tree snails. Also interesting, we came in here, there's 3 black crowned night herons on our left. And there's another one in a tree over here on our right. We rarely, I don't know if I've ever seen that many black crowned night herons.
No, not together. Except there are fish that are hitting the insects on the surface, and they literally make the water
looks-
seem like they're boiling. You're going to
boiling.
start hearing them in a minute.
Yeah, here they come.
And
there's
once they start
also-
hitting, then the black crowns are trying to grab them.
Here he comes. And there's also a big gator that was over here. Surprised me. It jumped in, but we're going to go back here in a
Kind of
moment.
been going back and forth. It may be after the fish, or it may be thinking it's going to get a nice black crown heron entree.
Ooh, he almost got one. So anyway, we're going to go look for some snails, and we may photograph some of the herons here.
Oh, definitely. We'll get some of the
We're
herons
going to get some of
and,
these fish.
and boiling. Burling.
Okay. Scargo. Okay, well, way back when, I guess one of the ways that people used to make a living here, other than poaching, was moonshine. And this is an old moonshiner's still here along the nature trail, what's left of it.
Except you got benches where I guess they used to do lectures.
Yeah, I'd like to talk about how they make moonshine.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think
they're
they
in
used to lead groups
kind of
in
rough
here and
shape, and I
talk
think we've had unfortunate little vandalism, but
Yep.
some interesting history back here because once upon a time, as you said, moonshining
Yeah,
was a major trade.
Probably back in the 20s.
Yeah.
So, till it went into the 60s to bringing in
60s
marijuana.
and
If you ever
70s.
see a documentary, Square Grouper. Final stop in the western Everglades, Apache. Place to come right outside of Everglades City. Not far from there. It's also part of the national park system.
Actually, it's a state park.
Yeah, state park. Yeah, well, it's still close to the
Part of Florida's.
Big Cypress area
Yes, it's
of
in the Big Cypress area, part of
Everglades,
Florida's.
yes. This is a state park, isn't it?
Oh, it is Florida State Park, but not a national.
Yeah. And they have seen black bear here, of course, the elusive panther, and barred owls. If you can find a guide, it's also a place where you can do a swamp walk here. So, another place to consider planning to stop if you come to this area, and make sure you have your camera with you, because you never know. Get that black bear or that panther. Just never know.